Today we're talking about The Haunting of Bly Manor on Netflix, so let's get started. After an au pair's tragic death, Henry hires a young American nanny to care for his orphaned niece and nephew who reside at Bly Manor with the chef Owen, groundskeeper Jamie, and the housekeeper Mrs. Grose. Welcome back everybody to another Halloween special. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and stay up to date on more up and coming Halloween videos. Today we're talking about the Netflix series The Haunting of Bly Manor. I have not seen The Haunting of Hill House, and I know a lot of the actors and actresses from that series do appear in this series, but this is not a sequel, it's another story by Mike Flanagan, who is a very underrated director. He works so hard at all of his horror movies. The way that he frames the horror sequences and is able to provide a lot of intensity, that carries over to Bly Manor. This is a really, really good show. Not knowing much of Hill House, I wasn't, as excited for Bly Manor as a lot of people were, because Hill House was regarded as one of the best of last year. And so I know a lot of people had a hard time adjusting to the fact that these actors and actresses were playing different characters, but it was very easy for me to get adjusted because I didn't have any connection to that prior series. This is described as a horror series on Netflix. But when you dig a little deeper into the series, it is at its core a romance. We are introduced to Danny, who is a nanny in the beginning of this series. She's taking care of Henry's niece and nephew, Flora and Miles. They're also at the house as a chef and a groundskeeper, so they're all getting together to take care of these two children. But when Danny gets there, she starts to see things in the hallway. She sees things in the middle of the night, she hears things, and it's a little unsettling for her. She has her own troubles as she leaves America to come work at Bly Manor. The series teases us very early on that she is struggling with things, and there's these haunting moments at Bly Manor. And throughout these 9 episodes, they really dig deep into some of these characters' past and why they are at Bly Manor and their troubled past. It makes them really interesting characters. They have a lot of complexities for them. And as the series progresses, that's when the romance element comes out of it. There is a lot of dark moments within the series, things haunting everybody throughout the night, unsettling moments, twists and turns all throughout, but we start to learn of secret romances, forbidden romances, and maybe it's just people who are afraid to express their feelings for one another. So I honestly was a bit surprised with how the show did end and how it was regarded much more than just a haunting story. It was more of a love story. And I thought that was a unique approach to the series because we got to learn more about these characters. They're just not your average kind of characters in a horror movie or a series like this. They have deeper feelings. We really get to explore those during the 9 episodes. The show really early on has this big mystery of who are these people that are haunting Bly Manor? And they really tease you really early on with these characters that are walking through the hallway. And there's a haunting past, there's characters that have wronged people before, and it takes some time to have that mystery come out and explain certain things. But middle half of the series, that leads to a lot of reveals and a lot of shocking moments that I found to be very surprising. It did take some time to get to some of these moments being revealed. And I was wondering, is certain storylines just going to go by the wayside and they're not going to be discussed at all? And there were a couple little story elements throughout that feel like they just ended abruptly and didn't really have much to offer to the story. But as we got more characters and digged a little bit deeper into their past, we got to have big reveals that I found to be very shocking. This is a great looking series. The horror elements are great. The way that Mike Flanagan, who only directs the first episode, the way that all the directors handle the moments following the actors and actresses as they turn around the corner, it really puts you in the moment and creates a lot of intense sequences. But the look of the show is amazing. The house, the costume design, all of it comes together to fit the time period that the show is taking place in, and also adding a lot to the atmosphere of the series. I'm really curious about checking out The Haunting of Hill House. I've heard that The Haunting of Hill House is better than Bly Manor, and people are a little bit disappointed with Bly Manor, but maybe I'll watch Haunting of Hill House and I'll be really excited for it. But for right now, Bly Manor, I really liked how they handled the romance aspect of the series. Very surprising. I thought it was going to be a really dark, violent horror series, and it wasn't violent at all. It was very terrifying at some sequences, but I really liked the romance stories within here much more than the horror aspect of it. And both parts worked very well. The acting is really good from everybody, the young children, Flora and Miles, and what they have to do without spoiling any of it. They have a lot to do within the series, and the groundskeeper and the gardener, everybody within here is really good. Danny is probably the standout for me. She is struggling with her own life, but also struggling to take care of these kids, and her life translates, and her life carries over to Bly Manor and how it is affecting her job and herself. This is a really great series. It felt really quick despite each episode being about 55 minutes. I was truly invested with each episode and the atmosphere that was created and how it ended, because the ending of it really got to me and was really emotional, and I really like how they just wrapped up the story. I'm going to go ahead and give The Haunting of Bly Manor a B. Thank you guys for checking my review of The Haunting of Bly Manor. Have you guys seen it? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming videos. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay spooky, YouTube.